Hi, this is the Celestial Nurse and Herbalist. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel. I am going to cover Moon in Gemini, the astro aspects with your health for May 9th and 10th of 2024. So let's get started with the Moon in Gemini. With the chart of the moon in Gemini, it will be waxing crescent moon. So for May 9th of 2024, it will be at 7 degrees at 28. And then for May 10th, 2024, which is Friday, will be 21 degrees at 22. So those are the actual aspects. Moon sign in Gemini. Again, this is a waxing crescent moon. We're going to be covering the astrological health aspects and placements of the organs and anatomy of your body. So Gemini sign, we'll just kind of go over that briefly, what you can look for the emotional and communication areas, since they are an air sign. And then we have anatomy locations and the waxing crescent sign. In Gemini, this is an air sign. They are great communicators. So, and they also like change, very intellectual, lots of feelings. The moon in Gemini could increase your communications of how you're feeling and expressing yourself to others, especially if you're more shy or on the reserve side, talking about your feelings or not communicating. Usually, if you're kind of more quiet, this will make you more chatty. It's a great time to do heart-to-heart talks with others. So if there's somebody that you love, or if there's any issues at work, this would be a good time to talk to somebody. Just let them know how you feel. This moon also brings out the deeper thoughts that you may be having, that you want to share with others, just kind of maybe what you're thinking about the world that you want to talk about, or if there's areas with your partner or a close friend that you want to improve on, or just areas that you see as lacking, that would be a good thing to bring up. As well as because with the moon in Gemini, you could have an increased anxiety or feeling that you're not good enough. So this may come up. Just try to be as grounded as possible. It's a good time if you do feel like that. It's only 2 days, moon in Gemini. So if you are feeling like that, it's just for Thursday and Friday, the 8th or the 9th and the 10th of May. So you could talk to a good friend, your significant other. You can talk to your pet your pet, take your pet for a walk. If you don't have anybody in your life or a pet, you can watch your favorite movie, or just read a book that you've been wanting to read. Just kind of get your mind off of it. And of course, exercising with endorphins, that would help you greatly as well. All right, so let's get into the organs and anatomy of Gemini during this lunar cycle. With Moon in Gemini, you have to be careful of your shoulders and arms. This is just for the 9th and 10th. But of course, always be careful with any parts of your body, no matter what day it is. So with your shoulders and injuries, you can get these injuries with your arms as well. If you are doing activities athletic-wise, which is excessive, so if you're just kind of doing it constantly, repetitively, just be careful when you do anything overhead in motion. So if you are a swimmer, try not to swim too much. Just kind of take it easy for today and tomorrow. Tennis, you gotta be careful with tennis. That's really hard on your shoulders and your arms. Weightlifting, make sure you have somebody with you to help you. And then, of course, don't be doing any extravagant extra lifting. Stay in your normal area if possible, or do less for today and tomorrow. And then, of course, if you are doing household activities, so if you are going to be hanging up curtains, doing gardening, or just kind of take it easy today and tomorrow. You don't want to get any injuries. I know we're in Taurus season, so you're going to want to get going on the gardening. But just kind of hold off on certain things. Try to work around maybe a different checklist. And then, of course, just to kind of take it easy. If you need a heating pad, that works great, or an ice pack, you can flip back and forth. If you do have an injury, but again, you only want to do 20 minutes at a time for that. So be very careful with that. And there you have it. So let's get to the next part of the organs and anatomy for Moon and Gemini. Next for Gemini would be hands of love. That's what I would like to call them. So be very careful with your hands. Make sure that you are washing your hands in, I believe it's like 20 seconds. Saying the alphabet is the time that you're supposed to do that. Don't have the water too hot. It'll dry out your hands. Make sure it's lukewarm temperature. Be careful if you are prepping for your meals with sharps, such as knives. Be very careful with that. Be careful with tools, machinery. Of course, I mentioned hot and cold, so be careful with your water temperatures. And then protect yourself from chemicals. So if you're cleaning your bathroom, I would recommend not using chemicals to clean your bathroom if possible. You can use vinegar, you can use lemon juice. There's many other areas that you can use, but if so, make sure you're protecting your hands from the chemicals. And then vibration. So depending on what you're doing, just be careful with vibrations are really bad for your hands. That's more for construction, but there's other areas that could cause this too. And then just kind of give your hands a rest on your computer. Carpal tunnel is an issue, so take breaks in between if you can. Try to use your voice to type if that's possible. I use that a lot for my through my phone, so I'm not typing in my keyboard. And then just be careful of jewelry or loose clothing that could get stuck in some type of machinery or even a door. And I believe that's it for this area, so just take it easy for the next day or two. All right, another area for your anatomy is your respiratory system, so your lungs and your bronchial tubes. So be very careful with that. If you have asthma, check your air quality outside. Make sure you have an air filter in your home cleaning out your air. Be careful what you're exposed to as much as possible. Make sure you have your prescriptions refilled. Make sure that you have your inhaler ready for whenever you can. If you're a smoker, please look into trying to quit smoking. Obviously, that's already bad for you. Vaping, same thing. Just be careful with all that. Drink plenty of water. That's always great for your lungs. If you're having issues sleeping, such as snoring or drooling, you might want to check with a medical doctor and try to sit or sleep with multiple pillows behind you. So that'll help your breathing. And then relax, of course. Try not to get too stressed out. Pay attention to your breaths. 12 to 20 respirations a minute is usually ideal. If you're having some issues, taking a hot shower, like if you have a bad cough, the steam helps your lungs. Having indoor plants to increase your air quality, that would be great for exchange with oxygen. Exercise regularly if you can. And of course, just make sure that you pay attention to the air quality if you're outside. Make sure you're eating plenty of fruits and vegetables. And yeah, I think that would cover that. So let's go to the next one. So with the nerve, sensory, and motor skills, those all relate to each other. This could be increased in a good way. You may be noticing more syncretisms going around you. You may have more electrical energy in your body to get things done. You may be able to meditate better with all your chakras going up to your third eye. But it can have other negative aspects. So when it's not working correctly, you can get a sharp pain or burning sensation. You could have numbness, tingling, muscle weakness. So if you have any of those, of course, check with the doctor. And then as well as your neck, be very careful with your neck. No repetitive movements. Careful how you're sleeping. Make sure you have the right pillow. If you are thinking about how your bed needs to be changed and get a new bed, usually they last about 10, 20 years depending on the type of bed. Maybe check into that. Make sure you're doing exercises And then stretching. Yoga is great for this type of part of your body. If you have low back pain, make sure you get out and do a little bit of walking. Of course, stretches for that as well. And then this all correlates to your other areas, which would be your shoulder, your arms, your hip. Be careful with, again, with carpal tunnel, having issues with that, with your wrist, using a mouse all day. And then inflammation, so make sure that you're eating more alkaline foods. And I think there's a lot of different areas for this. Oh, and then stay grounded. So if you live by a beach, that would be great if you can get into the sun. That would be really helpful. That would get you grounded. Otherwise, if you can lay in the grass, have leather sole shoes. Those are kind of hard to find. You can find them in dancing shoes, or I found it in boots. They were kind of hard because most of them were rubber soled boots, but I did find one with leather. But you gotta be careful because when you first get them, they're super slippery at the bottom to wear them in. So you could do that, and I think that's about it. All right, so we have blood and cardio exchange system with Gemini. So Leo, of course, rules the heart, so that's important. But for Gemini as well, they are part of the blood. So you're going to want to exchange, of course, to get the blood flowing. You should know how your blood pressure is. So get that checked out to see if you're normal, high or low. And then if you are low or high, check with your doctor and find ways to improve on that. Of course, do stretches, and then yoga. Of course, I highly recommend yoga. If that is maybe too hard for you, you can also, if you're older and you have joint issues, or if you're overweight and it's really hard to hold up your body, they do have chair yoga you can watch on YouTube. So that's just real basic stuff. Otherwise, you can, instead of just walking to check the mail, you can walk down the block and then come back and then check the mail. Park a little bit farther away from different areas. Swimming was great. I highly recommend using compression socks. Those are the tight socks that you put on that usually go up to your knee. You can get different sizes. That would be great to improve your circulation, especially if you're a runner or if you're traveling. I use them every time I go out for a jog or when I fly. I always wear them flying so I don't get blood clots. And then make sure your diet is on par. So make sure you're eating the right foods for that. Make sure you're eating fish, which is great to have more during the week than anything else. Mediterranean diet, that's always seems to be really good, and the Japanese diet from what I hear. And then if you are sitting in a desk all day, make sure you have your feet elevated so the blood pressure goes back farther, back to your heart quicker, so you don't have venous insufficiency or other issues there, such as blood clots. Of course, if you're a smoker or vapor, please stop. That is so bad for your arteries. It hardens them, and plus all the issues with your lungs. And if you're diabetic, make sure you are checking with your doctor. And again, compression socks is great for that. And then follow up with a doctor that provides nutrition to make sure that you're doing that correctly. So main thing is just take care of yourself. Love yourself. God wants you here to take care of yourself and do the best that you can in this world. Being positive, of course, that helps too. So yeah. Here's my disclaimer. Take a look at it. This is just for entertainment purposes only. Anything written in communication or verbally said is my opinion, research, understanding of the material that I have read. My own thoughts and myself are all information shared, written or verbal of any kind with Celestial Nurse and the Herbalist is my opinion and knowledge that I've researched or created, thought of, that I want to share with others. Please advise with your medical doctor for any medical concerns or issues that you may have or questions. This is just, again, for entertainment purposes. please contact your medical provider for anything health related. I am only sharing what I have researched on my own, just to help everybody if they would like to choose so. All right, and I'll have you check out my last slide. Thank you so much for coming to my YouTube channel. I'm very blessed. I do have a website and a very active blog on there for anything health related, spiritual, magical, and astrological, which is celestialnurse.com, and of course herbs. So go check me out there. And if you like this video, I'm trying to go more into medical astrology. So if you do like this, please make a comment. I'm hoping I have time to get the next one done, which is waxing crescent in Cancer, the moon in Cancer, which is Saturday, May 11th and 12th. For health-wise, that would be it. So have a great week and take care. Bye.